Hey, everybody, welcome to Cruise Control, your on air automotive magazine. You know us. I'm Les Jackson. That guy right there is Fred Staab. Fred, how you doing today?
Les, I'm doing fine, and yeah, another busy week in the automotive industry, and we're here
Oh,
to
yeah.
tell everyone about it and get them up to date, right?
Oh, yes, indeed. Starting with the Honda introducing its CRV hybrid Trailsport crossover. Pretty interesting.
Yeah, yeah. So that's a lot of everything. That's their
Yeah,
popular crossover, and it is also a hybrid, and it's also the Trail Sport, which is the upgraded
yeah.
uh, version for serious off-roading, or at least semi-serious off-roading. But we're also going to tell you, since we're always looking out for a great deal for you, why next month might be the best time to buy a Nissan. It might be a
It
really good time to buy a Nissan.
Yeah, we highly recommend you go see the dealer. And speaking of sort of deal, Ram shows the somewhat affordable 1500 Express.
Yeah, Express is apparently a name that's been in the Ram lineup, or probably goes back to even the Dodge Trucks lineup for a while. And
Yep,
this is a way of making pickup trucks more affordable in quotations.
that's right.
So we'll tell you about that. And then here's an interesting one, Les. How many Toyotas were built and how many are still on the road? We
Wow.
will crunch the numbers. I think you will be amazed. And believe it or not, this was put together by Toyota because they can sell more cars and more used cars this way when they talk about their reliability and how long their vehicles last. So, hey, it serves two purposes, and it gives us something interesting to talk about on cruise
It's
control.
yeah, these kinds of things are very interesting. You'll be surprised. And talking tech, and I hope this is true, could brake dust be a thing of the past? We all hope so. And one top manufacturer says yes, and your brakes will last a lot longer.
And it involves a laser, Les. So I know you're interested.
There we go. Right there. That's everything I know about and want.
They're talking literally that you might not have to replace your brake pads.
That's
And it won't
terrific.
muck up your wheels either with all that dirt, and it won't pollute. That's basically pollution, that stuff flying
Yeah,
off your car.
that dust is polluting.
And it doesn't look great on your wheels either. So all that, and I'll have an at the wheel review of I think one of the funnest vehicles I drove in a while, and it's not all that expensive, and it looks great, and that is the Hyundai Sonata N line. This had one of those matte paint finishes. It's a cool vehicle. I know you drive the related version to it, right?
Absolutely. And yes, it is, as I told you it would be a long time ago, it is really a lot of vehicle for the money, and it's fun to drive.
Yeah, yeah, it is, and it gets a 5-star rating. And this one had the potent 290 horsepower,
Yep.
2.5-liter turbo, and an 8-speed DSG transmission. The nice thing about it, though, it was not unruly, but it had power. So it's
Absolutely.
pretty
And
cool, pretty cool
and
vehicle.
you can really sling it around.
You can
But
sling
anyway,
it around. Here,
yeah.
sling it. Well, we're glad you're along for the ride with us. We should start with our first story, and that involves Honda. Honda has just released this week their their brand new CRV hybrid Trailsport. Trailsport, of course, is the model that is sort of a more off-roady, I would call it, right?
Right. It's an off-roader for people who don't off-road very much, but want to know they can.
Yes. And what's interesting is on the press release, the first thing it says is about where it's built, which is America. So that is a big step in
Right. Very
tariff
important.
avoidance. Yes.
Very important.
Yes. So more standard tech across the full CRV lineup. The 2026 CRV adds larger touchscreen, wireless charging, a wireless Apple CarPlay, and Android Auto capability, standard on all CRVs. And the brand new CRV Trailsport Hybrid is the first to combine that Trailsport design with the two-motor hybrid electric system, which I think is going to be quite an interesting vehicle. Um, and it has been, but believe it or not, the CRV is America's best-selling SUV over the last 25 years. I would call it more of a CUV, but they call it an SUV. But I think this is a sweet spot for the market because it gives people what they want. It gives them that all-wheel drive. It gives them the high seating. It gives them good fuel economy and the rugged looks that some people are after. Um, so, what is it? What are some of the other new features for the
Well,
2026 CRV?
yeah, we've got they say it's a spacious and comfortable interior. We're pretty sure that's true because most of them have been. Um, they describe the exterior as rugged and sophisticated. I would say it just looks purposeful.
Yeah, purposeful, and it's got that kind of a green color to it that is popular with
Yeah, that's
more
called
rugged
ash
tires.
green. I like that color.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's, as you said before, the fourth generation two-motor hybrid system on three of their models. We'll go through the models shortly.
Yep.
Um, real-time all-wheel drive with intelligent control and hill descent control.
Mm-hmm.
Snow driving mode. Let's
Okay.
not talk about snow.
We're done
Um,
with that for a while.
and the Honda Sensing suite of safety and driver assistive technologies. Y- Please use these technologies. They actually work. I talk to people all the time about that. And next generation front airbags, which I think interesting,
Yep.
and standard front knee and rear passenger side impact airbags. The safety features on everything are just really stepping up because
Yes.
it the all of these tests, the crash tests from IIHS and NHTSA and everywhere else in the world says that we gotta have an awful lot of passenger safety.
Yeah. Well, this is made in Ohio. A hybrid electric system made
Yep.
in Ohio. Ohio. It's the fourth generation Honda two motor hybrid electric power unit built by associates at the Honda transmission plant in Ohio and paired with a 2-liter Atkinson cycle four-cylinder engine made in the Anna engine plant in Ohio. Now, really, this is a change because they're calling this out now in these press releases to tell you about it, to let you know that this has been built. By the way, this vehicle has been built in the U.S. for a long time. This is a sixth generation CRV, and it continues to be built in three plants, including East Liberty Auto Plant in Ohio, the Indiana Auto Plant, and Alliston Auto Plant in Canada. Whoa, watch out, Canada.
Whoops, whoops. Well, if you've ever been out to Marysville, Ohio, which is where their main plant has been for 35 years, I think.
Yep.
I've been there. I was there about 20 years ago, and all of the towns surrounding Marysville have their component manufacturers' factories
Right.
built there. So this is a real, honest to goodness domestic car.
Yeah. Well, don't
Uh,
they have to be? They have to be within 20
they do,
miles, or
yeah.
because just in
They
time
have to for
manufacturing.
just-in-time inventory. You have to have it. If you don't make it there to really be able to satisfy the just-in-time inventory, that means you have to have a monstrous warehouse, which is very expensive,
Right.
so that whatever you're shipping in is always there.
Well,
Anyway,
let's talk about some of the models, and it blows my mind that this is the sixth generation of the CRV. It seems like it was just released. Really, it's been around for a long time. It's grown up a bit. It's gotten a bit bigger, haven't we all?
well,
But
everything gets bigger.
yes. So you have a number of different versions. You have an LX, an EX, an EXL. They all get the 1.5 liter inline four cylinder, which is good for
Right.
190 horsepower, 179 pound feet of torque. They up the power on the CRV. I know people that have had them previously complained to me that they just didn't have enough power. So they heard them, and I believe it used to be around 160. So they added 130. They added 30, I should say, for 190 horsepower. Those get the CVT transmission, but the hybrids get a 2-liter inline four-cylinder engine, Atkinson cycle, with the two-motor hybrid system. That's good for 204 horsepower and
That
247 pound-feet of torque, which
Yep.
I think you would feel the difference, especially in that
Oh
torque.
yeah. You could feel that difference, and yeah, that has been, people have mentioned in the past that maybe they could use a little more power. It's not that they're slow; it's just that they're a bit leisurely, trying to get into heavy, high-speed traffic.
Yeah,
That's not true anymore.
no, no. And then they get a number of other enhancements too. The standard HD screen is 9 inches. The upgraded one, I believe, is about 10 inches. And as I said, wireless phone chargers now standard. Um, and let's see, rugged Continental Cross Contact ATR all terrain tires. They come on the Trailsport. Um, and Google built in is available on the Sport Touring model. So all around, a lot of upgrades, and the Trail Sport model, it's great. Nice flat load floor in the back, slow reach over, and I just hope those exhaust ports are active on the back bumper.
I I have no idea if they are.
No, but nice to see a small hybrid, isn't it? I don't know. We don't have miles per gallon on this, I don't
Well,
believe.
I'm trying to check that out. There's so many models that it's phenomenal, really. Of one single model of name has one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8 different models.
Yeah, pretty amazing. You don't
That's
see
a
that
lot.
much today, but I think they're taking a page out of Kia's playbook, where there are different models, but you really there's not like a lot of options. Like, oh, I got the
Yeah,
EX, but I added some things from the EXL. It's like you pick one, and then basically it's down to dealer installed accessories and floor mats and
right.
rear bumper protector and things like that. So it makes it easier. But hey, I think this is going to be a real popular model. I expect we'll see a lot of them. So what would people cross shop for this? Probably a cross
Well,
track hybrid from Subaru, I think would be one, or is it more
right,
akin to
or
the Forester?
yeah, or Toyota. Yeah, the Toyota. I just had a mental block.
Corolla Cross, perhaps,
Look,
or
lacrosse, but it may be even smaller.
yeah. We'll see. We'll see. I actually think it might be one step up. It might be more like the Forester, the CRV, because
Yeah, it could
it's
be.
pretty
It just
big.
because of its size. You're right. It is bigger.
Yeah.
Um, I always think of the CRV as like the old days with the uh, you know
Wheel on the back. Remember when it had the
with the
tire on
wheel
the
on the
back?
back, and they were like a like a Sportage, small,
or a Rav Four,
or a RAV4,
which has
but
grown up.
now
Yeah,
now
yeah,
they're all bigger.
yeah, yeah. Got it, got it, got it. All right. Well, hey, we'll check it out and hopefully drive it when it is available. But you have a great story on why next month might be the time to go into your Nissan dealer, Les, and it's a pretty good reason
It is a
because
good
you
reason.
might be able to write your own ticket, right?
It's a good reason. Nissan dealers starting next month will have extra motivation, as they say, to sell you a new car,
Right?
and that's what Nissan wants from the dealers. So what it says, or Nissan's theory, as they're telling us, is you have to spend money to make money. So they're
Okay.
spending money and they're throwing out the complex system it used to calculate dealer bonuses in favor of a simple edict: sell all of the new cars.
See,
When
wow.
that's
I bet
okay,
he went to Harvard Business School.
I'll bet he did. But he was in the lower half of his class, I think.
Yes.
So when the new system goes into effect, the mothership will start rewarding its dealers based entirely on how many new Nissans they manage to put in customer driveways. So if you become more flexible and less overselling, then you're going to be bonused more.
Part of the
Uh,
problem too was they were selling more used cars at Nissan
yeah,
dealers than new Nissans. And for some reason the company said that's a problem.
well, that's right. They're building new cars. They don't care that the dealers want to sell used cars. That's a different business.
Yeah.
So uh, sadly, Nissan sales have been in, as some say, in complete free fall, which is understandable since the model selection is a little bit dated,
Mhm.
and their management wasn't doing things terribly well. So the dealers have to step up, and
Well,
and I think they're going to be creative.
and what they're doing, they're looking to move units. So they might accept a lower offer, hit them with a lower offer.
Yep,
Maybe someone in your family wants to buy a Kicks. You want to get a car for someone to go back to college in, or a second car. Just hit them with a low offer and see what happens. What can they do? Shake their head? They're not. And if you say, okay, fine, I'll come back, I'll go somewhere else, they'll follow you because they're looking to do. It's now not based on the price of the vehicle; it's based on how many they sell. So if they say, well, we can add that to a list of a vehicle we sold, we didn't make a lot of money on it, you know, obviously if you offer them 10 grand on a
that's
car
right.
that's 25, that's not going to accept
Yeah,
it. But if
so
you offer them 20, they might, right?
and they've actually revealed a little bit of how the factory works with dealers, because they're telling us dealers who hit 90% of their volume goal, which is set by Nissan, receive an additional $350 per vehicle.
Okay.
If you hit the goal, you get 600.
Okay. So you might end up
Uh,
by selling it for less money, you might end
that's
up
right.
making more money.
Making more money. And if you exceed the goal by 10% or more, the bonus doubles.
So you might go in and say, well, the car's 25. I'd like to
Yeah.
offer 23. And they'll say, no, that's not right. It's 20.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. I
That's
do
right.
have a pen. Let's sign it.
That's
I
right.
will be buying
Really,
it today.
yeah, really, you've got to lowball. You've got to go in there and lowball, because the
Yeah.
dealer, if he sells, it's just not you, it's 20 other people coming in there.
Yeah.
And if you all lowball, then the dealer actually makes more money by selling it far less. And
There. Like
Don't
I said, I'll
even.
give you 10 grand for that 25.
That's right. Always, always, always research what the invoice, the dealer invoice cost is, because they still make money
They have
selling at an invoice.
holdbacks. Yes, they have
Yeah, they
holdbacks
get
and
holdback, which is
dealer
usually six
incentives.
percent.
Yeah.
Uh, so go under it. If that $25,000, do we have any Nissans that are $25,000?
Kicks might be. The kicks
Oh
might
yeah, it
be.
might. Yeah.
And some of the
Yes,
lower levels.
Fred's
Yeah.
right. Go in at 20.
Yeah.
You can always go up. You can't go
You
down.
can't go
Yeah.
down. No. And, and then say, well, it's too much money, and then walk out the door and they'll follow you
Oh yeah,
or
they'll
call you
follow
like
you.
25 times a day.
Exactly. So Nissan, of course, is footing the bill here.
Yeah.
But if you can sell an additional 100,000 vehicles, you're in the black.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's face it, too. I mean, Nissan, if you're a Nissan dealer, you want to sell a lot of cars because if Nissan starts
Sure
trimming
do.
back its dealer network, you don't want to be the part that gets trimmed off, right?
Exactly.
So,
So sadly, Nissan sold uh, only about 9%. Or no, actually, they sold. How did that work? Last year, 16 million new vehicles were sold.
okay.
Um,
Overall, everybody.
overall, and Nissan wants to increase their share by about a 0.5%.
Doesn't sound too hard, does
So
it?
that's 80,000 cars.
I tell you what, I actually had a neighbor lease an i5 BMW, and he said his main purpose was tariffs, to avoid tariffs. And I think that is going to drive sales
Yeah.
in a weird sort of way because he said, I want to get it before tariffs because he understood the cars that are here won't be tariffed. The
Hmm.
ones that come later on might be. And we'll have some more on that whole issue, but there's some
Yeah.
developments there. But so I wonder how what tariffs are going to do for sales overall. I think they might push more people into the dealers to be like, well, I better
I
get it.
think
I need a car
they might.
six
They
months
might.
from now, but maybe I better get one now.
Well, wouldn't you?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a big difference. It's not like $200. It's thousands
it's
of dollars. It could
yeah,
be
it's thousands of
5,000 or more. Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah. If you're planning on buying one, go talk to your bank and even take out a home equity loan or something. Get it now,
yeah.
because you don't know what's going to happen. I personally don't believe the tariffs are going to last, but
No, and
you know,
there's later on in the show we'll get to some updates on it too, and
yeah,
we'll talk a little bit about that. But next, one of the topics you and I have been talking about for a long time on cruise control, or at least this year so far,
this
is
year,
people. The whole thing at Stellantis, where they had a terrible CEO, he didn't understand it. Even down to Ram trucks, they brought in two high expensive trucks,
yeah,
and people they just sat on the dealers' lots. Well, there's new sheriffs in town, and they're going to try to make Ram trucks more affordable, and that more affordability comes in the form of the Ram 1500 Express. And it is a vehicle, a full size pickup. Now, this is the modern version. This is not the Ram Classic. This is a full size pickup um, for $44,495, and that's including destination. That's the starting price. You might say, "Oh my, that's a lot of money," and you're saying it's a good deal. But let's face it; these pickups are trading for easily 10K over that. Most of them.
I went back a little bit, Fred, in my notes from last year,
Mm-hmm.
and I did not see a pickup truck from Ram or anyone else that was less than 55,000.
Yes. So this one is going to start at 44,495, including destination. And what does that get you? Well, it gets you 20-inch wheels, gets you a standard 3.6-liter Pentastar V6, 305 horsepower.
That's plenty.
But you can get a nice upgrade for not a heck of a lot more money. You can get the 3-liter Hurricane SO, the straight six twin turbo, 420 horsepower for $1,695, which is not bad. That's not a bad upgrade. That's
That
worth it.
isn't bad. Now, why you need 420 horsepower in your pickup truck?
Well, maybe if you're towing, who
You know,
knows?
I'm sounding like an old fogey here, but
Adaptive cruise control, automatic
yeah,
emergency
gotta
braking,
have those. Gotta have
pedestrian
those.
automatic emergency
Yep.
braking. Tow. Okay, so here's the reason to get that $1,700
Right.
upgrade. Tow rating up to 11,550 pounds, and that's the quad cab 2-wheel drive with a 3-liter Hurricane engine. That's great towing, basically.
That is fantastic.
That used to be like, Super Duty territory, or heavy duty territory. But that's great. 11,550. Black bezel headlights. Okay, that's fine. Interior accents with liquid graphite laser etched paint and grid colors. Okay,
Gridiron colors.
gridiron
So
colors.
that
Um,
would be the team colors, right?
well, this is the replacement for the Ram 1500 Classic. Uh, Believe it or not, there's a bit of history here. The first Ram Express was offered in 1939 and served early America as a 78 horsepower regular cab pickup truck. 78.
Wow.
That might be a little low. Available colors include diamond black, bright white, graphite crystal, forge blue, and hydro blue. It's kind of a good deal. What do you think?
Well,
It
it
seems
is a good
like
deal.
it's well under 50, even with. Well. Let's go through some of the
Yeah.
variants. Quad cab 2-wheel drive is 44,495 with the Pentastar. Crew cab 2-wheel drive 47,245. Quad cab 4-wheel drive 48,345. These all include that $2,095 destination,
Right.
by the way. And crew cab 4-wheel drive is $51,095. Okay, so if you get the crew cab and you put another 1,000 on, so you're looking at 53, but it's a pretty well equipped truck, 4-wheel drive, crew cab. That's
And that's still cheaper than anything we've talked about in the last year.
yeah, that's a big deal.
We have frequently, still are, but frequently last year we were talking about trucks that were 75,
Oh
$85,000.
yeah, easy, easy. And this was
Boy,
the problem with Ram. They had selected those. Their CEO had selected those, and those were the ones on the dealer's lots. And there were picture after picture of like parking lots filled with these
yeah.
things. And yeah, they're great trucks, but you know what? This is a great truck for that price too. It comes with just about everything you need, and you get, it's fine with the Pentastar V6 too. That engine's been around for a while, but you know, to get a quad cab 2-wheel drive for 44,495 out the door would be okay if you don't need all-wheel drive. I think most people go for all-wheel drive.
Well, I think everyone is kind of holding back a little bit on their expenses, and this is a great solution for somebody looking for a pickup.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Hey, let's look a little bit about what's going on at Toyota. This is we like to get the big view here sometimes, and we'll talk a little bit about Toyota and the number of vehicles it sold and the number of vehicles that are still on the road. And this was a study commissioned by Toyota because they say if we show our vehicles hang around a long time, we'll sell more new vehicles and we'll sell more used vehicles, right?
Right.
Now, last year, Toyota Motor Corporation, including Lexus, sold 10,159,336 vehicles. Wow. And that it goes up even higher since they own Daihatsu and Hino. So Hino is a truck manufacturer. They sell like
Right.
small cab over delivery trucks. They put a box on the back or whatever. So if you add those in, they sold 10,821,480. Now that's a drop of 3.7%
Yeah.
compared to the
That's
previous
just
year.
think about 10 million vehicles.
This is worldwide, obviously. Um, so that believe it or not is a drop. That's crazy. But what about the vehicles that are still on the road? And so as of September 2023, 100.52 million have been built in Japan, while 119.6 million vehicles were assembled abroad. The biggest selling vehicle remains the Corolla, and in 2012, they became the first automaker to assemble over 10 million cars in a year. Now that is the current current number for 1 year. But it's staggering the number that are still on the road. This is according to automotive research firm Hedges and Company. They estimate that 1.64 billion vehicles are used worldwide, and they say Toyotas are about 9.15% of all vehicles currently on the road.
Okay, well, then you have at least 160 million Toyotas
Currently in use. That is crazy.
in operating condition.
Yeah. Incredible numbers, right?
Well, it is. That's one of the problems that face us for bringing in autonomous vehicles. Here in the US, we have about 230 million vehicles registered.
Right.
But, that means that the fleet, and generally, a given fleet of a given model of a given year is considered 99% off the road in about 18 to 20 years. It takes that long
Yeah.
to wear them out or wreck them.
Yeah. That's
So
a long time actually.
that's a long time. So, even if everything today was autonomous, we still have 230 million vehicles on the road that aren't.
Well, you'll need to get the $46 device from Amazon to make your
Uh,
vehicle
Right.
autonomous,
And
or at
it
least
won't
make it talk to the other cars. How about that? At least
exactly.
one-way communication. Do you think there will be something like that?
Well, someday, but
Yeah.
that's an awful lot of sensors that have to be on a vehicle.
I'm just thinking vehicle to vehicle talk, that
Yeah,
like, hey, I'm
vehicle
coming
to
here.
vehicle.
Yeah. I still think they could do something with an electronic license plate like that, where they make it
Well,
electronic.
that would be that might work.
Yeah. But while we're on this, seems like we've gotten into a tech mode. Let's talk some tech. And who likes brake dust? Nobody. Right?
Uh, no, I've
It,
never met anyone, um, who says, I really like brake dust.
I'm so glad my custom wheels have brake dust on them because that brown, ugly look of dust
Yeah,
is wonderful.
and it sticks. It really sticks to the
It
wheels.
really sticks, and of course, people sell a lot of cleaners to get rid of that. I remember there was one wheel cleaner. I never forget this. When Corvette went to a composite rear spring,
Yep.
the wheel cleaner would dissolve the rear spring, and it would eventually fail because you're spraying it through the spokes, and it would obviously some of it would
That's
go
right.
through, and it would eventually make the rear spring fail. How about that?
And
But it
there
got rid
was
of the
a,
brake dust.
yes, it did. And there was a wheel cleaner in the early 2000s. And I won't mention the name of the company,
Mm-hmm.
um, that cleaned the wheels great, but it actually added as a paint strip or acted as a paint stripper
Mm-hmm.
and took the, the any,
Finish.
yeah, it took the finish off the wheel.
Yeah.
So
Good
you
news
had
is
a,
we got rid of the brake dust. We also got
but
rid
it
of the
did get
finish.
rid of the, of the brake.
well,
So it didn't work too well.
well, this technology comes from Brembo. And Brembo has been working on this for quite some time. They're saying that uh, it could end the problem of brake dust, and which of course plague vehicles like Porsches and BMWs. And it also stops pollution because this is pollution coming off your wheels. This brake
It's a,
dust, it's
it's an,
flying into
it's
the
an
air.
irritant. Yeah,
Yeah, as it's being stirred up by the wheels. And there's actually a new Euro 7 vehicle regulations uh, that account for brake pollution. So there's a driver to this all, why they're driving to get this. The other thing is, and this actually helps in many ways with pollution and keeping the costs down for vehicles, brake components could last 80% longer. So that means you don't
that's
have to
right.
get rid of them, you don't have to have them changed, and it means less waste as well. So here's how this technology works, Les. The Brembo brake discs get 2 layers of nickel-free coating applied via a laser beam, and they claim that this new process cuts surface wear by 80% when compared to untreated traditional cast iron discs. What's interesting too, I wonder if this would prevent them from rusting when it rains, because that's something people hate to
Well,
see.
I don't know if you can prevent the rotor from rusting because it's got to be, you can't chrome plate it or anything because it loses its heat transfer.
Okay.
I don't know, but the the laser coating, and I won't get too deep into it. I was involved with this for a number of years in the laser industry. It's laser metal deposition. It's done by the laser beam created turning the metal into a gas actually, and in a vacuum chamber, the gas settles beautifully evenly on the material.
Wow.
So anyway, um, this has to work. It's just got to work. But how much is it?
Well, I don't think anyone knows that yet. But as you say, yes, they get 2 layers of nickel free coating applied via a laser beam. They're going to cut the surface wear by 80%. You think about that, then
It's
you're
great.
not throwing out these rotors as well, too, or you're not having cut.
Yeah.
I don't even think anyone cuts rotors anymore. They don't bother with that. Um, and then you'll keep your wheels clean too and not pollute. Seems win-win-win. As you say, the main thing about it is what is the cost. Now, if this is spread out, if they just say we're going to put this coating on all new vehicles, not just performance vehicles, it's not going to be like the carbon brakes or the ceramic brakes or whatever, where that I remember I had a Corvette press vehicle. They had those brakes, and it was a $17,000 option.
Well, that yes,
Yeah, I
that's
was
right.
like,
That
I
that
like
that
the actual increased
yeah.
braking capability, but
I'm
I don't
I'm
want
not going to order
17,000.
that from Amazon.
No,
But
it's only $56 on Amazon. You can get it on
exactly.
Temu for 10. So
But basically, if you can coat things, then and to stop wear. Now, of course, the pads have to wear a little bit
hmm
as they slow the car down. Something has to wear because you're pressing these things together. But if you can reduce that by 30% and rotor wear by 90, this is this is this is a sea change.
Yeah, it really is. It
Yeah.
really is. Plus, keep your wheels clean. So it's who will get hurt? The people that sell wheel cleaner.
We, well, yeah, well, but still, um, it's people that sell things like brake repair, like Midas and whatever these other companies. Yeah, you're going to have fewer repairs or less often, but we're still increasing the number of vehicles on the road every year by 16 million.
Also, I think you could probably retrofit this and say, hey, we're going to have new components here that are going to eliminate the dust and also last longer. So you could probably, do a
Yeah.
upcharge for swapping them out. So I don't know. It could be a good tech, but let's talk. Let's stay on this tech. And one of the this is kind of a weird system, and I'll put a picture up to show you what it is. This is called Nissan's Invisible Hood. So this was named a new tech feature, best new tech feature by the Texas Auto Writers Association. It's like like our group. You belong to WAPA, I belong to IMPA. Um, and the invisible hood helps drivers spot obstacles ahead of their vehicle by providing a virtual through the engine bay on the in cabin infotainment screen. So the system uses exterior mounted cameras to deliver a simpler view of what is ahead and below the driver's line of sight. It simplifies spotting obstacles such as obscured curbs in the drive-through lane, metal tracks when entering a car wash, and rocks and other hazards when off-roading. And it's available actually now on the 2025 Nissan Armada and the 2025 Rogue and the 2025 Murano. I'll ask you this: why don't they put this on Class 8 trucks? Seems like it would be a
Yeah,
no-brainer.
it should be mandatory.
Yeah, to
And
see.
and actually everybody, well, I think all cars will have this very shortly.
Yeah,
Um, and by the way, this is something that Nissan never gets credit for, but they're the ones who developed the bird's eye view
yeah,
rear camera, and they gave it to the industry,
yeah.
saying, "We believe this is very important for safety. You can have it."
Once again, why wouldn't that be on big trucks? You're backing
Why
into a
wouldn't it?
dock, and I want to
Why
see the
wouldn't it?
overhead view. And oh, there's the lines.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
now
don't
I'm
know.
lined up.
Is it? I mean, I don't know. I mean, is it on any?
I think people make their own systems, and Volvo has a system where they have these monitors, these vertical monitors inside the cab that sort of look like mirrors. They're sort of like an outside mirror, but they're on the inside. That may be something like it. Volvo and Mack trucks have that, and others do, other in Europe. But I think that type of situation would be great because yeah, the dedicated tractor trailer drivers are going to say, well, I know how to back into a dock, but it's going to make it faster, it's going to make it better, it's going to make it safer for everyone. So I wouldn't
Um,
turn it down.
I will find out tonight, Fred, where we stand because just by sheer coincidence, one of my oldest friends and neighbor for 30 years is coming over tonight. He is the longest tenured NHTSA employee
Oh
ever.
wow, wow.
And he just retired last week because he said, "Oh, screw this! I'm not putting up with Elon Musk." And he's worked there for over 40 years.
Wow.
And he is the director, well, of, and I'm not going to get into too much detail, of a division that maintains all of the statistics for FARS, fatal automobile uh, deaths, and well, deaths obviously, and the mandatory uh, appliances that the vehicles must have. So he'll know
Mm-hmm.
what is on these trucks and where. And we've had many discussions over the years about all of these things.
Yes.
And
Well,
uh, he's
it's
a good guy.
certainly not. It's certainly not mandated now. It's just literally coming out. And
Exactly,
yeah. So
exactly. And he's a car guy, like most of the people at NHTSA.
I think they still train drivers, believe it or not, when you're backing in. They take your glove off, throw it on the ground, and use that as your marker. So you,
Oh, good
when you're
idea.
backing, that's a good idea. But I think maybe there could be some new tech besides
Well,
that.
and this is not, would not, will not be, would not be a very expensive piece of technology to put
No,
on
there are
them.
cameras and they
Yeah.
stitch it together. I mean, they could do it. Obviously, you'd have to put them on the trailers because the
Well,
tractor
that
could have it on mirrors
maybe
and things.
that's one of the problems, but
Who knows?
I I
It
don't know. This some of the trailers are pretty old.
I don't know. We'll I'll be interested to see what he says.
I'll let you know what I find out next week.
Okay. Well, Les, you know how much we like teaser photos. Here's a teaser photo for you.
Okay. Okay. Now, as an expert, I can tell you those are vehicles.
Well, Mitsubishi has confirmed this week an all new battery electric vehicle will be sold in North America starting the summer of 2026. We're almost here. Oh, well, a year away. Sorry, I was
Well,
thinking
yes.
2025. But okay, so a year away. Uh, and this will represent a huge step in the company's recently announced Momentum 2030 product strategy for the U.S. market. And the battery electric vehicle will be sold alongside the Outlander plug-in hybrid, and which was the world's first plug-in hybrid SUV.
Hmm.
The battery electric vehicle will be sourced from the Mitsubishi Motors Alliance partner, Nissan Motor Company, and based on the next generation Nissan Leaf.
Um,
That's pretty much what we have.
well, this is very interesting. This picture is completely useless.
I know it's
It's
like an
just
AI generated.
it's just a few lights and one little Mitsubishi logo.
Yeah, it lights up the logo. I mean,
Yeah,
you
and a very detailed pavement,
it will
which
have wheels.
which means they have wheels. I think we could have gotten a little bit more teaser than that, but
Well, you know the
who am
teasers
I?
now, they just have the little swirl of the,
Yeah.
C panel or they'll have like a tail light or maybe a headlight which looks like every other headlight. So, I guess as far as teasers go, uh there you have it. Um, Based on the Leaf, it
Yep.
almost looks like an you're gonna laugh that one in the center almost looks like a Scion XB, like a box.
Okay. Yeah. It's okay.
So
Now, I think it's worth mentioning Mark Chafin, president and CEO of Mitsubishi. Uh, he's talking about their Momentum 2030
right,
program.
right,
And I like it. I like it. It's defined by 4 points: a path to electrification, a path to renewed and expanded product lineup, a path to modernized retail sales model. That'll be interesting.
yep.
And a path to network expansion. And obviously, sales growth.
Well, here's the thing too. I mean, we've been talking about Mitsubishi. They're kind of getting caught out. They aligned with Nissan. Nissan has its troubles, and they're kind of kicked around like a football in that potential merger that never happened. I'm still not sure it will ever happen.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't
Whoops.
know. I don't know what. I don't know what it all means for Mitsubishi, but I'm glad that they're bringing out new product
Yeah.
and
Same
bringing it
here.
to the U.S. So, hey, let's do an at the wheel review, Les. This is a vehicle that I found to be a lot of fun. This is the Sonata N line front wheel drive model, 2025. Um, Obviously, a sedan. It is coated in the matte silver, which is a cool look. That was actually Aero Silver matte, and it is a $1,000 upcharge. But we'll talk about the price
Ah.
in a little bit. This is powered by a 2.5 liter turbo four cylinder engine, 290 horsepower, 8-speed wet dual clutch transmission with paddle shifters. Uh, I liked it. I mean, you look at it, it almost has a little Genesis in it. It has that front
Yep. Yep.
trim on the fender there, some cool styling lines. Really nice out back. It's got some arrow on that spoiler, and it's got quad ports, exhaust ports, which is pretty cool. Uh, it's aggressive without being like in your face. It's not like some of the N vehicles where they have a loud exhaust or really bright colors outside. On the inside, some nice, tasteful seats, cloth seats. It's a mixed media, they call it. It's Softex and some cloth inserts, nicely bolstered, some nice stitching on there, red stitching on there. Tasteful update to the interior. Some hard plastic, but this is not a super expensive car. Got a little chrome strip there to give it some bling. On the inside, it is a interior that you've gotten to know a lot. It has that panel that goes from the driver's side all the way over to the middle of the vehicle. It
Yep.
has wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and that all worked well. And then the controls are a mix of physical and haptic. Out back, great room for the passengers, great headroom, and you get a couple of USB-C ports, some air conditioning vents as your amenities. Overall, a clean look. As I say, there's knobs for the HVAC and tuning and volume, and then some of the other controls are haptic. Nice pedals there. Out back, there is a nicely fitted trunk. Notice the hinges are enclosed, which is nice, and there are remote releases for the seat backs, which is always a plus. Nicely finished on the inside. It did have a tire mobility kit, although I bet you could put a compact spare in there pretty easily. Check out those vortex generators on the back of that spoiler. I like that. It was aggressive without being too in your face. And the quad tips, they are actually wet tips. They are real exhausts, which is nice. Under the hood, we've got that 2.5 liter turbocharged engine, as you say, the big block, and it did a
Well,
great job of moving
it
this
is.
vehicle along. Great overall vehicle score, 5 stars for safety. Frontal crash, 4 stars for the driver, 5 stars for the passenger. Front and rear seat side crash, 5 stars, and rollover, 5 stars. So good numbers all around for that. LED headlights, LED taillights, LED running lights. A slick sedan with just enough sport. As I said, not in your face, but it is, it's there. Okay, and this is the N line. N line, I always see it as kind of the more conservative brother to the N vehicles. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed this vehicle. I think it's one of the slickest looking sedans out there, the Sonata. And by the way, mileage is pretty decent. 23 city, 32 highway for a combined number of 27, which is not bad at all. You get a 5-year, 60,000 mile new vehicle warranty, a 10-year, 100,000 mile Powertrain warranty, 7-year unlimited anti-perforation warranty, 3-year, 36,000 complimentary maintenance, and 5-year unlimited mile roadside assistance. That's worth something, isn't it? That's a good number. Um, so those displays are quite large. The instrument cluster is a 12.3 color LCD and a 12.3-inch touchscreen navigation system, which has AM, FM, and Sirius radio. And it also has FM HD, too, by the way. Wireless phone charger. So, like most Hyundai vehicles, it is very well equipped. The Aero Silver added $1,000 to it, and the carpeted floor mats were $210. So this starts at $35,250. Total price with a $1,150 destination. Total price was $37,610. And as far as our tariff check goes, final assembly point is Korea, and the engine is from Korea, and the transmission is from Korea. So I have to say, I really enjoyed this. It was just enough fun in the
Yep.
vehicle. The transmission was great. Everything shifted well. I remember when I first saw the new Sonata, I was like, wow, what is that? You know, it just really makes a statement. And the matte finish, apparently, I have to learn more about this, but apparently you can never take a matte finish vehicle to a car wash, which I don't take cars to car washes anyway.
Yeah, that's right. You can't.
And you have to use special soap, and ideally you should just foam it. Use one of those foam guns because it can scratch. And once it scratches, you can't get the buffing wheel out and buff out the scratch out of the clear coat. But it is a cool look. Wouldn't you agree?
And I do. Obviously, I own the sister car, the Kia K5, and also a 2025, and it's that really fast electric steering and the suspension design engineering. These things drive like a smaller sports car,
Yeah, but
and they're really nice.
they're not. It's not going to break the bank,
No,
and it is got a great trunk, and it's got a great rear seat. Sedans, man. People,
it's a sedan, and the secret of it is long wheelbase.
yes.
And that gives it a smooth ride, even though if you have 19-inch wheels or 18.
I believe these have 20. Let me double check. I'll keep researching that. Hold
Yeah,
on.
but it's remarkably smooth, even with such low profile tires, and it's a surprise when
Yes.
you get in it, and it's rewardingly pleasant to drive with very few complaints. The only thing I don't like is the turn signal click.
That's funny. My wife evaluates press cars and the turn signal click. She has a certain sound that she likes, and if it's weak sound, she's like, "That's not
Yep.
great." By the way, there's a lot more to the N. There's the N power shift and rev matching. It's 19-inch wheels, by the way.
Okay.
By the way, the rear spoiler expresses a bold attitude.
Oh, well, I was going to say that, but
I was like, wow, you have a bold attitude.
exactly. I'm sure that was your thought when you looked at it first.
Yeah. You get enlarged bumper grill area, the exclusive 19-inch wheels. And then you have things like active sound design, launch control, N power shift, and rev
Yep.
matching.
8-speed automatic, right?
Well, it's an 8-speed dual clutch,
Okay. Yeah.
paddle shifted. But you don't have to drive this like you're going to take the wheels off of it. You can just have fun driving it
It's
as a
responsive.
as a responsive sedan. So yeah, I think it's one to look at. The Sonata, of course, is available in all kinds of variants. Hybrid, that's a great version. Luxury versions,
Yep.
base models. It's a real good vehicle with a lot of um, different. However you want it. You want a performance vehicle, you want a hybrid, you want a base model. It's all good. And they have come with advanced safety technology. They come with all the equipment as far as wireless Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, and nice interior design. So I kind of think it's a hit. I think it's an easy way to buy a nice car, great
Yep.
safety numbers. So uh, what will happen on tariffs? Nobody knows. But it's one. It's certainly one to look at. And you're a K5 owner, as you say. That is the sister car. You're very happy, I know.
Absolutely. The two companies are just taking over the general automotive market.
Yeah, yeah, pretty cool stuff. Hey, we hope you've enjoyed this edition of Cruise Control. It's time for me to say I'm Fred Staub.
I'm Les Jackson.
We are going to see you down the road. Take
Bye.
care.